Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Everything Spice. My name is Tanya. Well, today I am making dessert. Happy Palm Sunday, everybody. Just got out of church. We did get our palms. But today what I'm going to do is a dessert. I'm thinking something sweet for Sunday. Why not? There's plenty of time for savory on another episode. But today I am doing sweets. And what I'm doing is not just your ordinary one. I am doing apples. Yes, I am. Look at all the apples I have. I have more than just this. But with these apples, I am making an apple pie. Not just any apple pie. No. What I'm making is Swedish apple pie. It's basically an apple pie without the crust. Now, it does have a crust on it, and it's not a crumble. It's not apple pie in a traditional sense of a dough like you get pie dough, though I have made that my own as well as store-bought. Saves you time, right? This one, on the other hand, is a little bit different, and I'll tell you why. Finally, I'm gonna get to it. I know. I do go around the mulberry bush sometimes when I talk. Yeah, I know. All right, so with these apples, I am making Swedish apple pie. And what that is a cookie crumb topping versus a pie crust. So you have the apples on the bottom and you have the cookie crumb topping on the top. So it's like a sugar cookie almost on the top of apple pie. Tell me that's not decadent and delicious and simple. We want simple sometimes with our desserts, no? At least I think so, sometimes, once in a while. They don't have to go fancy, but it does look fancy and it's completely entertainable. So with Easter coming, maybe for your Easter brunch, you'd like to serve some apple pie. This is a different variation of apple pie. It's simple, it feeds a crowd, and it's so delicious. So I got my apples, gather yours. Any variety will do. Some people use Granny Smith. I sometimes do a variety, but I just so happen to have Macintosh, for those that don't know. Look, ooh, this is the apple, okay? This is the apple. Now, we're not in the Garden of Eden, and I'm not trying to tempt you, but maybe I am. Are you gonna eat it? Are you gonna eat it? We'll see. We'll see. I'll get you in the end, my pretty, and your little dog too. So join me on the other side for Swedish apple pie on Everything Spice. All right, I'm back. All right, so what I'm doing is tripling the recipe because I got 3 pans here. Gifts, my friends, not just for me. We're gonna give them away. So I got 3 pans that I've sprayed and an aluminum, because that's usually the original pie pans. All right, so the recipe calls for 5 or more, depending on the pie pan or the plate of apples. Granny Smith is the ones they use, but I use Macintosh or I use a combination. 1 tablespoon or more of sugar, and this is for the pie filling. 1 teaspoon or 2 of ground cinnamon, and that's just for the pies. That's just for the apples. And I got all the apples right here that I'm going to divvy out. So I'm going to put the sugar in there and the cinnamon in there, as well as the topping. I got in this bowl, I got 3 cups of flour, 3 cups of sugar. I have 4 1/4 of sticks of butter that is melting right here. Okay, because the recipe calls for 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 3/4 of butter, 1 egg, and 1/8 of salt. So instead of that, I tripled all of that. Okay, so this is triple the recipe that I'm doing. 325. I am preheating my oven. 3 eggs in here, 4 1/4 for here. I know it said 3/4, but I'm doing that. And I have all of the flour, the sugar in here. So all I have to do is add some sugar to this, but I haven't cut up the apples yet. Let's see what we're gonna do with the apples. Let's move everything aside. He's playing video games. Ignore the screaming. He is not dying. Nobody's killing him. He just likes to yell. All right, so we're gonna do this. Cut up the apples. And my sous chef. My sous chef cut up the apples for me. Thank you, sous chef. I know that's loud. So I'm just going to cut it up, show you, and then I'll cut up all of the apples and put the cinnamon in and put the sugar in. Now tripling the recipe, right? So I'm going to put 3 teaspoons of sugar, or tablespoons of sugar, 3 tablespoons of sugar in that, and also 3 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. And then you cut them up like this. Basically, you cut them up like this in slices, okay? Yes, a little browning because once they sit out for a little bit, that's what happens. Don't worry about it. You can put lemon if you want to stop that process from happening, but they're going to be covered in cinnamon. They're going to be put under a pie crust. Nobody's going to care. All right, so I'm going to just cut up my apples. I'll show you how I do it one more. They were already cored. The apples were cored and the apples were skinned and cored. And then we're going to just leave them like this. Now, you can cut them into dices if you want to as well, but I like the look of it because they're going to be peeking out of the, yeah, see how pretty they are? So don't make them too thick though. You want even slices. See, like this? You want even slices, even, because they're going to cook evenly. I'm going to cut up all of my apples, and then I'm going to add my sugar to it and my cinnamon, and I will show you on the other side what that looks like. Stay with me. All right, so I have the sugar in, and I'm just adding the cinnamon to this. And I know it's not, I didn't, I think I did like a cup or more of sugar. I know. But this is my recipe, and I'm sticking to it. Now, baking is a science, that's true. But this is kind of interpretive because I'm doing it with the apples on the bottom. So it's not going to affect the top crust. So I'm mixing in the cinnamon with the sugar, and this is what it looks like. Let me see. You can't probably see it, right? Come to the thing. Look, see? That's what it looks like when you mix it all together. You see, you can't even tell there was any brownage on there. It's only oxidation when oxygen hits it. You know what I mean? It's not really saying that the apples are bad, but if they are rotten, don't use them, obviously. But I'm mixing it together. And then I'm going to divvy it out. Sorry, I'm making a mess here. Divvy it out to each pan. Try to keep them as whole as possible. But if they break up, so what? Orville, it's not going to be a bad situation. And then what you do, see, it gives you time too for the butter to like cool down a little bit because I microwaved my butter. So yeah, that's a lot of butter, but that's going to go in here. And then adding the eggs. Remember, eggs and heat, scramble eggs. So then what you do is you take your pans and fill the bottoms up. Just like that. Try to divvy them as evenly as possible. If you can. If you can't, oh well, that's the way it goes. But maybe, I don't know if I have enough for 3. Let me try. I might only have enough for 2. Let me see. No. Yeah, I might only have enough for 2. Oh, that's such a disappointment. All right, well, you know what? Cooking's also adaptive. Because you really want them full. So you don't want them to be not full. So, all right, so it makes... I changed my mind, okay? It's only going to be enough for 2. That's okay. I will live with that. Okay. So you make a nice big zhuzh of that. And a nice peak of that. You want the bottom to be covered. I mean, you could probably take some of that from that one and add to it. Yeah, maybe I will do that. I don't think I need that many apples in this. I'm going to make it work somehow. All right. Scratch that. That's good enough. You don't want to go too crazy where it's like too much apple. So that works. That'll help out a little bit. So fill the bottoms and make them even. And if I need to take away from some of them, that's what you do, my friends. You just work with what you got. Clean hands, best kitchen tools in your kitchen. So add a little bit for the pie pan and then spread it out. And that works. See, now you get 3. I hate the idea of not being able to give if I had. I like to give these as gifts. People love apple. Not just for fall, you know. You can give apple pie any time of the year. But look how pretty that is, okay? As long as the bottom is covered, you're covered, in other words. So here we go. So look how pretty that is, okay? So each one has that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add our other ingredients to the pie crust, see? As long as the bottoms are filled, you're safe. So all 3 have their bottoms covered. Now we got all of this, and then you add your butter first, okay? All of the butter goes into the flour mixture first, right? Because it's the hot stuff goes in first. Only when it's cooled off, and the flour is, believe it or not, is going to cool it off a little bit. Then you're going to add your eggs, okay? Perfecto. Get rid of this, because you can't mix it with this. Okay, now, let's mix it with the wooden spoon. Get in there. Mix it all in. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, mix it all in like that. And look at that. It's going to make like a nice little, starts out as a paste. Look how pretty that is. And that is going to be our cookie crumb topping. Yeah. And then you're going to add the eggs as well. And that is perfect. You keep going. All right. Make sure it's not too hot when you add your eggs, because you don't want it to scramble. So add it quick and mix it in fast. Mix it in so it doesn't scramble. Okay, just like that. Quickly incorporate it. There we go. And that's going to make like a paste. So it's nice and thick. Just like that. Okay. Keep going. Mix it. And you know what I'm going to add to this, because I can. I am adaptive this way, is I'm going to add some cinnamon to the top as well. It didn't call for that, but I love that cinnamon topping. I love cinnamon and everything, man. I swear. I'm a huge cinnamon fan. Okay, so that's perfect. Look at that. Now, let me show you what I mean. See how that looks? That is perfect. Just like that. And that creates, look at that. That beautiful topping that you're going to put on top. Okay? So, let's mix this in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use our third little spoon here. Look at that. Then you just top it with this stuff, with this mixture. Evenly top each one, right? Just like this. I'm going to put all of it in. See what I see. Put dabs of Duya in each one. And that's all you do, basically. And I'll show you how you smooth it out. But this is perfect, just like that. Put a little bit more on that one. More on this one, obviously, because it's bigger. And that makes the crust topping. It's going to turn into like a crackly, crumbly thing. So make sure you put it all in. Don't let any of it slip by you. Just like that. Okay, perfect. And if you need a little more on this one, that's what's going to happen, man. And it's buttery, too, because it's got so much butter in it. Don't worry about the butter. Saying, oh, my goodness, it's not diet. Hey. We're not always on a diet. In moderation, my friends. We can eat whatever we want, unless our doctor tells us different. And then you just mix it in. Smoothing it out, look. And if the apples peek through, what did I tell you? That's part of the charm of it. So you're just going to smooth it out like that, right? Tell me this is not simple. It's so bloody simple. It's going to make such a beautiful dessert. And then we're making sure that it sticks. You know what I mean? That you cover the apples. Try to cover as much as you can. You don't want any burnage. And this is the crust. So put a pie, like a sheet pan underneath if you can. That way if there's any spillage, it's not going to go all over your oven. See? So just smooth it out like that. And it makes for a fancy, pretty dessert. I'm not even kidding you. This is going to be so fancy, fanciful, and fabulous. You never thought you could do this with apples, but when you have a bunch of apples, when you go apple picking in the fall, and you have a bunch of apples and apple pies and apple muffins, yeah, and stuffed apples, and you come up with all these, and apple stuffing, and you're like, what else can I do with apples? My gosh, I've done everything with apples humanly possible. Swedish apple pie. And it's so simple. You can put it in glass pans, and it looks so fancy on the bottom as well as the top. Give it away as gifts. Put them in these little pie pans and give them away as gifts. I mean, people are going to appreciate that. And it's going to remind them of fall. because apples and fall just go together, man, like peanut butter and jelly. Right? Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Okay, look at how pretty. Smooth. That's it. One more, and that's it. And that's all we do. And then I'm going to put them in a 325-degree oven until there's brownage. So that depends on your oven, my friends. I have no idea. If you have a gas oven, it could cook faster. Convection oven, faster than that. An electric oven might take longer. Just keep looking at it, watching it. Do not let them burn, and turn them halfway through. So start with a half hour, 15 minutes, turn them, check them for a half hour, keep going until they're completely browned. I'm not sure, but I'm going to find out with my oven. Mine's is electric, so mine might be different than your oven. But 325 until it's brown, and it has like that crackly cookie look to it. Like a sugar cookie on top of an apple pie. That's what it is. Yeah, baby. All right, I'll see you on the other side. Swedish apple pie on a Sunday. How sweet. All right, everybody. Here is the final product. 3 Swedish apple pies. Yeah. Because one just ain't enough, my friends. One just ain't enough. Look at this. Look how pretty. Look how delicious. Look how fabulous. Absolutely delicious. You got to try it for yourself. It took more than an hour because I had it on 325, but like I said, every oven is different. I got this one. I got this one. Oh, here you go. Here's one for you. Look at this. Delicious. And if you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you, please like and subscribe. And join me next time for Everything Spice. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Wonderful Palm Sunday, everybody. Be safe.